Record. Yeah, there we are. We are in recording now. So, module one was about what is Cariap, our roles as pedagogical leaders, our responsibilities, the tasks we must do, the fact that this is a course that accompanies you in this process of becoming not a facilitator within the role of pedagogical leaders. You are developing as a facilitator of a community of learning. This is the main role you are playing here. And we started working with posts. As I said before, these are the posts that we have been including in the community. And soon you will be moderating and posting yourselves. So for the time being, we have been designing the posts for somebody else to upload. We have already had one of our pedagogical leaders posting herself and accompanying the process of the moderation. And you have been throughout these weeks replying to the posts, monitoring the discussions, evaluating when to intervene and when not to, when to uh, promote interaction, when to wait and see, how to engage other people to discuss. I am aware, and I have already reported this, that lately we haven't had many teachers participating. There is 1,200 and odd members. And of late, it's been mainly the pedagogical leaders. Of course, we are also very concerned. Riap and Cariap team are also concerned. And we have decided to offer a webinar, a very short webinar on August the 19th. It's about Mentimeter. And we're doing this to bring the teachers back to Facebook, because I feel that sometimes people don't visit Facebook, so they miss all the interesting discussions that we have been carrying out. But for the time being, what we are doing is training you to become facilitators within the pedagogical leaders that you already are, right? You have a clear role that you already play in your countries, in the training programs you participate in, but we are developing this particular role of facilitator. We discussed last time how to reply, when to reply, what to evaluate in order to reply, and the different ways of approaching the posts and the participation and the interaction of the different people. Today we're going to talk about content curation, right? We're going to go back to how to post, and we're going to decide on ways of posting, because soon, for example, on Monday, Shirley is posting, and we will all help Shirley improve the post so that she can post it herself and then monitor the discussion. Later on, there is Juan Carlos and there is Burley as well, because they also have prepared their videos. But we have more video clips from the first webinar, and we must prepare those. We need to curate the content, right? So that will be our job mainly today. But before we move on, I would like to, let me see, I would like to go over the self-assessment results. We received, let me see. Okay. Carla. Hello, Carla. Nice to see you around. The summer break in some countries. Yes, I think that the majority of the people who joined are from Mexico, and probably they are enjoying their holidays. Isn't that so, Carla? Yes, I think so. They seem to be less engaged, but at the beginning they were so enthused that, well, probably um, they are more inclined to other type of posts and not to completing ours. But well, we'll try to bring them back, and whatever idea you have, please share it with us, and we will see to it. Yes. So talking about our experience as facilitators, we I asked you to engage in this self-assessment. The deadline was last night, so I waited until this morning to go over the results. And here are the people who participated. I included myself because I also completed it. And apparently, as it looks, according to the graph, well, the replying activity has been what we have been doing mostly, definitely. The people who answered the self-assessment have been very busy replying to the different posts. Another one which has been very frequently done is asking reflection questions, follow-up and reflection questions. That is paramount. I mean, we cannot avoid doing that, because if not, the conversation would finish. And we are here to promote professional learning among the teachers. So this is actually very necessary. Acknowledging contributions is something we also do very frequently. And about connecting contributions probably and inviting quieter voices, probably we will need to see to this. And this cropped up also when you assessed your strengths and your areas for development. One of the strengths is that we welcome all the participants all the time. We show empathy. We encourage them to take part. We always adopt a very supportive attitude, which definitely calls people back. Another strength is the purposeful reflection we engage them in. And when we do this, we avoid judgment, we avoid correction, and we also avoid providing the answers. That's why we keep on asking reflective questions, so that the conversation continues to develop. Another strength is the emerging ability to summarize and weave. It's emerging because not everybody is actually doing it, but they are giving it a try. For example, I don't know if you noticed that Rosa, her post invited people to produce these top 10 tips. And well, she gathered them, she summarized them so that they could envision or identify which was the shared goal behind them. So this was the underlying goal. Also, you also reflected upon how to synthesize ideas, how you manage to bridge contexts, and also how you manage to encourage participants to build on others' thinking. So these are our strengths. We are very happy. We will continue along these lines. Some areas to develop. We would like to move from leader-member exchange to member-to-member dialogue. And in order to do this, we need to make sure that we build this bridge. Because by tagging somebody that who has already talked about that topic, by getting bringing 2 or 3 ideas from other posts, perhaps, and reminding them to visit those other posts. So we're going to work on this coming week. Also, from your reflection, we need to work on more focused and lower pressure questions. Rather than, for example, what other topics could work, which is really challenging, I would say. Remember, this is a Facebook community. People pop in and sometimes don't have enough time to stop and think. So probably we can give them options. Which would you try first? Daily routines, hobbies, or weekend activities, and why? This reduces effort while still inviting reflection. Now, one of the big questions you had throughout was how to bring these voices, these quiet voices, up so that they can be heard. There are quieter members. They are probably lurking, because if you see the amount of visits that each post has had, that is very telling. I mean, people are reading, but maybe they don't dare, or they are not, they don't feel confident. So this is a very important point. Just write it down, because we are going to go back to this in a little while. So how to invite quieter and different voices. Because again, I mean, we have people as from teachers who teach at kindergarten level, at primary level, secondary level. So how do we bring these different voices into the discussion? And that's why I highlighted this in yellow, because we need to go more deeply into. And you also brought up these questions. When should a post be considered complete? Because sometimes we just drop it and we forget that it exists. But maybe we might give it a little twist. We might ask another question, or maybe enough has been said and we need to close it. This is what we have done this with 2 posts already. With the one we opened the day of the webinar, and you may have seen Pia, Priscilla, you were one of the people kind of congratulated on. There were 3 people there. Yeah, so it was closed in this way, saying congratulating the people who had more participation. So that could be a way to bring it to a close. Or as Rosa did, say, okay, now we have more than 10 top tips, and they all seem to have these goals in common. And that was it. There were no further reflection questions. She brought it to a close. So these are things that we need to be aware of. Another question that you asked: when should a leader step into another leader's thread? Right? There was Rosa's thread. Now on Monday there is Shirley's thread. Well, we are all participating, but we might want to decide on this. And another question that also cropped up: how should we avoid either taking over or appearing in every discussion? Well, at the beginning, I was like the one who appeared everywhere, because in a way I was trying to model how the pedagogical leaders would do it. Now I have decided to just watch and intervene when absolutely necessary, in particular on Mondays, which is the day I'm in charge. Remember, Monday I'm in charge, Tuesday it's Chile, the Chile team, then Colombia team on Wednesday, then comes Mexico on Thursday and Peru on Friday. Of course, Saturday and Sunday, it's everybody or anyone who is around. And another question: how to deal with misunderstandings. And there was an example of a misunderstanding. Is the person who wrote about this misunderstanding is a pedagogical leader here? Because I can't remember who had written about this, so that we can clear up what the misunderstanding was. Because as I said, there were these people Roger, Diana, Cristina, Burley, Rosa, Maricruz, Priscilla, Lady, Shirley, and me. I didn't have this misunderstanding, but if anybody was, if whoever wrote this would like to tell us more about the issue, we are more than welcome. No, there's no one. No. Okay. So we'll wait. Maybe whoever made a comment of this sort is coming later and we can bring this up. So I highlighted these yellow so that you can get into groups and discuss this. And so I think we need to come to terms, in particular, with reference to strategies for supporting quieter members and questions that you asked yourselves about: when should a post be considered complete? When should a leader step into another leader's thread? And the other two questions: how should we avoid either taking over or appearing in every discussion? And how to deal with misunderstandings. So I'm going to give you around 7 minutes. Let me place you in yeah. Today we are, very few. We are 9. So I place you into 3 groups. So there is Burley, Carla, and Maricruz in one of the groups, Gerardo, Priscila, Violeta in the second group, Luisa and Nati, hello Nati, in the third. So 7 minutes so that you come up with some ideas of how to deal with these issues. I have opened the rooms already. Let's get started. Thank you. Some people are still here, so we need, okay, Burley, you're still here. Please join the groups. Thank you.
In two devices in this moment. All right, but I'll be back. I'll be back. Okay, sorry. It is because I just turned on.
Okay, no problem. No problem. Okay. Now we are all back. Great, great. Roxana has just arrived, so I'm going to give her a short introduction so that she understands what we are doing right now. Last session, we talked about intervention needs, when to intervene, when not to, how to do so, and during the 2 weeks that have elapsed, we have been visiting the Cariap Facebook group, we have been monitoring the discussions, and we have been acknowledging contributions, making connections, replying, asking questions, and all that. In the self-assessment answered by these 9 people, we gathered a lot of important data. One of the important pieces of information was the strength that we identified, Roxana. We identified that we are very empathetic, we are open to whatever the other people are saying, and we try to encourage and support their participation and the interaction among the members. There is also purposeful reflection, so that is good. That is something we are doing very well. we are not judging, we are not correcting, we are not just giving the answers to anything. We encourage interaction and reflection. And there is an emerging ability that has been noticed by some of you, not the 9 people, but some of you have noticed that you have been trying to synthesize ideas, bridging context, and encouraging participants to build on one another's thinking. Now, we have also detected some areas for development, such as making sure that the replies, that the members start interacting. For the time being, we leaders exchange, talk to the members, and we haven't been able to open up the conversation so that members start interacting among each other. We also need to work on the type of questions. You are aware that the questions need to be easier, and maybe making sure that we provide with options so that people don't need to devote too much time. If they need to devote too much time to answering, they won't, and they will just go on with other things. And we have noticed some issues we thought that need further reflection. For example, what can I do to support quieter members? What can I do when the post has gone on for some time? Should I finish it off? What about the leaders? How do we take turns? And also the other 2 questions had to do with well, appearing in every discussion, as I did at the beginning, and I have managed to stop doing, and how to deal with misunderstandings. So that was the topic for the meetings. Let me have a look. In room 1, there was Burley, Carla, and somebody else who has left now. I think Maricruz, you were there as
Right, right. I was there. I was
Yes,
with
you
them,
were
but
there.
then I
The,
changed my
yeah,
device.
the
So
three of
I
you. Yeah. Okay.
right.
Any ideas that we can kind of note down for our next week participation? What do you suggest?
Our last idea, the one that we were discussing before we joined the room, the main room, was that sometimes our language was like probably it was beyond, or it was too technical,
Do take.
and this might discourage, no, this might discourage people's participation, no, like oh, they know more than I do, so what can I say? I probably, because it is hard to really reflect on our practice, no, we sometimes do things like automatically without really reflecting on what we do, so probably we are more aware or more conscious about what we do, but some others like I probably do nothing, no, because they haven't thought about it. So this was what Carla said, no, so probably how to sound less technical, less
Hmm?
authority, no, or Carla, you maybe can put this in better words.
I think that
No.
what you mean is be more accessible, right?
Right.
It has to do with
Right.
accessibility. Isn't that so?
Yes, I think that we were also discussing there was going to be, or there'll be another webinar through Facebook. Yes. And I was like, well, I would be very interested in learning a little bit more about how to craft our contributions. And by craft, we were even discussing like this is as important as entering the correct prompt into an AI, because the more specific you are, the better answers you're gonna get. And by crafting, I mean like how to make it much more approachable to those less experienced teachers, or teachers that might not have the academic or the technical knowledge that we do. Because the moment you see some or a small group already having a very interesting or academic conversation, no one will want to step in. Like, what else can I share? Why would my voice matter in this conversation? Or what else can I bring to this discussion? So, probably, I don't know, I was thinking that having some key phrases or like in different categories, like phrases that invite discussion, and that probably we can create a bank of those specific phrases, no? Phrases that invite discussion, phrases that encourage collaboration, and phrases for, let's say, reflective endings. Because I think that wrapping something up is also important. Otherwise, our collaborators or other fellow teachers might feel like, okay, so what's next? No, is this it? And I think that we can create a bank of potential useful phrases that we can have at our disposal and know when to use them.
Excellent idea. Excellent idea. So we can start producing this document. I will open it and we can start pulling in interesting phrases, things that we consider will work and will make people more, say, it will encourage the rest to join,
Mhm.
which is
May I say, may I say something else?
sure.
I think that this is a remind. I think that this experience in the Facebook group should be a reminder that it should work pretty much like a classroom,
Mhm.
where we let students participate, where we let them know that their opinion matters, and where we don't take all the spotlight. You know, we have to let them participate. We have to guide them through this.
Exactly. Exactly. Last session, what we discussed was the intervention needs. Say, when do I need to step in, and when do I need to remain like an observer and guide the discussion so that it happens. I need to make sure I can tell this. Okay, great, great. Thank you, thank you. That was group one. What about Gerardo, Priscila, and Violeta? What what would you like to share with us as far as these areas we still need to develop?
Well, we didn't talk so much about the first question,
Mm-hmm.
but we did talk about the second one. When should a leader step into another leader's threat?
Mm-hmm.
We thought it was kind of hard to know, but we reached three conclusions.
Great.
First, to help clarify a subject
Mm-hmm.
when there is someone misinterpreting or something like that, we
Mm-hmm.
can help the other leader
Mm-hmm.
to paraphrase or to give a little more context so the other people can understand. The other one was to remind people to be respectful. If there's any problem, we could help intervene uh, to make people realize we are in a learning community and we need to be professionals about our relationship. And finally, if we could contribute a new idea, something that has not been said, like the top 10 that was mentioned before, if something was left out and we want to contribute something from our knowledge, from our expertise, and we want to improve the post of the first leader.
Lovely, lovely. You were very clear indeed. So on Monday, when Shirley posts this resource post, we will help her today to design. We will be reading the replies and deciding on whether to intervene and how, when, and what kind of intervention as well. We will definitely need to clarify if there is any misunderstanding and contribute with a new idea, I feel that we can do that. We can do that because we are teachers. And when we do this, we will always remember that we are talking from the classroom. And examples will definitely clarify and help others improve. So feel free to post, to reply, and bear in mind that we want to show that we are also teachers, that we are also sharing this in the same way that we expect the members to share. Thank you very much. And I'm going to ask Luisa, Nati, and Roxana now. Any questions that you would like to answer? Any issues that you would like to bring up?
No, we don't have questions. We discussed about the questions and we made conclusions about the topics.
Great. Well,
And we say that it is very important to respect all opinions, and we can support other sports if the person give permission, no, and we support and giving new ideas, posting a picture, like doing comments, and may reply the question, reply the comments, reply the opinions.
okay, and consider this idea that, well, Shirley will be in charge of that post on Monday, but we will also be helping the members to by clarifying, by sharing an example, a real classroom example that will definitely bring more members in, right? Okay, so we have some answers to our questions. How are we going to approach this monitoring role, monitoring the discussion role next week? Again, unless you would like to make any changes, we can respect the schedule. Say on Monday, I can be in charge, Tuesday, Chile, Wednesday, Colombia, Thursday, Mexico, and Friday, Peru. Is that okay with you?
I see no problem Thursday for Mexico. Well, I don't know my colleagues.
Yeah, I think it's no problem also.
Yeah, I think it works.
Okay. What you might want to do, maybe each country team, if you want to share ideas, you can have your own WhatsApp group and decide on what kind of intervention before you actually do so. You can choose how to go about it. But I thought that probably the next 2 weeks, so as to practice a bit these new ideas, you could make sure that you connect at least 2 contributions in a thread, looking for explicit similarities, looking for differences or complementary ideas. You could offer more replies to the whole group, right? Not talk to only one, but make sure that you look for members, right? That respond, so that they respond to one another. So Anna, you mentioned something in relation to what Luis has said. Would you like to expand on that, to clarify? I mean, make sure that we start opening the dialogue up. The questions need to include examples so that we can focus the questioning more closely. When we talk about inclusive participation, we want to welcome different contexts. because sometimes the examples are from different levels, from secondary or primary. What about the fact that we're from different countries? Well, maybe examples from your own context or from the curriculum in Chile states that, what about Peru, right? Depending on how you go about it, you can ask those questions so that we turn the diversity Cariap has into an opportunity to learn with and from one another. So let's see if we can focus on this. I will send you a mail reminding you of these issues so that we give new ideas a try, considering the wonderful suggestions that you have made, which I will also bring into a document and share with you and the rest of the participants. So that would be in relation to our self-assessment. There was also a reflection upon the facilitation etiquette. So I went back to session 3. I gathered all the different ideas we had developed and handled last session, and I came up with this facilitation etiquette, including what we had discussed and also the new ideas that cropped up in this self-assessment sharing moment. I have included bring discussions to a purposeful close when contributions have slowed, the main ideas have been explored, or comments are becoming repetitive. Something that one of the pedagogical leaders, commented on in the self-assessment. So on this occasion, you thank contributors, summarize the key ideas, and suggest a possible next step, while leaving the discussion open for later contributions, because some people may want to do some further discussion. So always before posting, ask yourself, does my response help this member feel recognized, deepen the conversation, or encourage members to learn from one another? So bear on all these things in mind. We will start a new week monitoring the discussions and taking part whenever is needed. So that was in relation to our self-assessment and the work done. Today, we have 4 learning outcomes. We are going to work thoroughly on resources and evaluate them for relevance, reliability, accessibility, we mentioned accessibility today, and usefulness for teacher professional development. We're going to select a resource that responds to the interests, needs, and teaching contexts of the Cariap community. We're going to present a certain resource clearly explaining its value and possible use for teachers, and create discussion prompts that encourage teachers to connect the resource with their own classroom experience. These are the contents we are covering. These are the contents in Module 4. Principles of content curation, selecting relevant resources, organizing and presenting resources that have to do with teacher professional development, and using resources to promote discussion. The first learning outcome is related to evaluation. And I will invite you to go back to the Facebook posts. I suppose you remember these 2 posts. They are part of what we call with the Cariap people, they fall into the category of let's learn together. Some posts are meant to encourage learning together. So they focus more on some content that Cariap has considered priority content. And that's why there was a webinar at the beginning on planning and assessment. And during our webinar, when we presented Cariap, there were 4 different topics developed by 4 pedagogical leaders. And these are the clips, the video clips we are bringing back. So If you remember the posts, fine. If not, you can go back and tell me what makes Rosa's resource or Leonor's resource worth sharing. Go to the chat box and write your opinion. So you can check. I'll give you a couple of minutes to go back to Facebook, check the resources that we have used. They are short video clips, remember that they don't take long. And the question I would like you to answer in the chat box is, what makes these two resources worth sharing?
Dear Sylvia, I have a question.
Yes.
So the question that we have to answer is, what makes a resource worth sharing?
In particular, Rosa's resource and Leonor's resource. Take those two
Okay,
examples.
that in the on Facebook post, yes?
No, you answer here in the chat box. The two posts.
No. So I mean, this question we have to think in a post on Facebook or Classroom. What is the context? Which is the context?
The context is we are trying to understand what makes a resource worth sharing. So we go to the two examples I am giving you. The two examples are resources used in the Facebook community. So go to Facebook, check the resources, and then come back to Zoom here and write in the chat box what makes Rosa's resource, what makes Leonor's resource worth sharing in a community like Cariap. For example, Burley wrote, practical relevance and evidence of impact. Burley, why did you say practical relevance? Why did you choose that criterion?
Because according to the video, I consider that it was focused on a real classroom challenge.
Okay, so if it's relevant to the teachers, it will be relevant to the teachers because it is about classroom situations, classroom challenges. Is that so, Burley?
Yeah, yes, it is.
Okay, so I give you another couple of minutes and then I will ask you. I'll give you another minute so that those who haven't participated can do so. Remember, there is the other clip, the other post. Great, great. We have many criteria there in your answers. These are the ones I am sharing. If you notice, most of you talked about relevance. They should be relevant to the teachers. They should be relevant to what they need, what they are interested in taking into the classrooms. Should be relevant to their contexts. You talked about contexts. You talked about the needs they have. Reliable. What do we mean by reliable? They should be credible. I mean, when you hear Rosa, when you hear Leonor, you believe that it can be done. You believe them and you believe that this is possible. I could take it to my classroom, make a few changes and use it. So a resource should be reliable, should be credible, should be accurate, and should be current information, something that is updated, not something that we used to do and now has been dropped. When we talk about accessibility, and this you also mentioned, it is easy to access, easy to read, easy to listen, easy to follow. The language is accessible. I can understand it. There aren't any difficulties, technological difficulties or language, or there are no barriers at all. That is what we mean by accessibility. And you also mentioned this. And I also included usefulness, and this appears in your chat comments. Practical, something I can take into my classroom, something I can adapt and use. I can apply it immediately. And I left these blank spaces, sorry, in case I had not included all the criteria. Go back to the chat box, see if I have left anything out, and we can add it. Yes, Carla.
Sorry, for example, when you, well, as you were going through these criterions, I was like, okay, I was thinking at first of the word practicality or applicability, but
Yes.
I think it's partly covered probably in the usefulness part, where teachers can use that strategy or technique straight into their classrooms. And then I think that I would add conciseness.
Okay.
Because there's relevance, there's reliability, accessibility, usefulness, and another element was how brief they were. I
Yeah.
mean, come on, like the last video, the one that was taken apparently from a webinar, was less than a minute. Was less than a minute, and it was a very useful reminder of what needs to be done to take our students from a receptive stage to a productive stage. I think that we all know that, but sometimes in practice we forget about those things. So I would say conciseness, because even when teachers are very interested in improving their pedagogical practice, they don't have a lot of time. I mean, they are completely overwhelmed with what's going on with their students, paperwork. So I think that's what makes them useful, both of them.
Great. Good point, and conciseness as well in the post. And that is something we're going to work on today, so that teachers don't need too much time to watch the resource or read the resource and then answer. Great point. I think we are going to include it. So we have started with this type of evaluation, considering these criteria, and I will add this fifth criteria. Now, let's move on to the next learning outcome. We are going to select a resource that responds to the interests, the needs, the teaching contexts that our Cariap community has. I will share a handout with you with links to different resources. Let me do it first so that you have access to the handout first. Here it is. The handout includes all we have been doing, and whatever you will see more information in the appendix. Where is the chat? Here. Okay. Okay. I think I cannot find my chat box. Okay, here it is. So if you go to the chat box, you will find a link to the handout. In this handout, which I'm going to share immediately. Here it is. Okay. Let me see if I can move this and share the handout. I have so many different things on my, dear me. Stop. Let's see if you can, yes, now you can see the handout. Well, this is what we have done so far. These are the criteria, and I'm going to add conciseness. I will have to add it later because now it might take longer. So this is activity 2. The question is this resource suitable for Cariap? There are 6 resources. I wonder if there are enough of us for the 6, so I will probably have you use only 5. We are going to work in 5 groups rather than 6. The question is, each group, each pair will review the resource assigned. You will use a rubric to rate it from 1 to 3 for relevance, reliability, accessibility, and usefulness. And then you will decide whether you would share it, you will adapt or contextualize it before sharing this resource, or directly, I will look for another resource because this is no use. You will be asked to explain your decision by completing this phrase. We would or we would not share this resource because. And you can justify your decision using the indicators in the rubric. Okay? So based then on this material, we're going to use the criteria for assessing the resource. I'm going to create the rooms again, and I'm going to have you work in 5 groups. So Burley and Natty, you will be in charge of assessing formative assessment. The one here, number 1, let's write number 1 here. Carla and Priscilla, you will be in charge of the speaking activity. There are 2 resources. You can pick the first one, the one that is on video. This activity will get your class, whatever. Then there is another group here. Let me check. Gerardo and Luisa, you will be evaluating large classes. There is an article there. It's not only videos that we can use. We can also use articles. That was number 3. Roxana and Shirley. Hello, Shirley. You will be evaluating vocabulary game. Is this useful? Is this relevant? Is this accessible? What kind of resource do we have there? So that is Roxana's and Shirley, number 4. Sorry, it's number 4. And Maricruz and Violeta, the one called Mixed Ability Teaching. That is the resource you will access. You will have to assess. All right? So I'm opening the rooms. I will give you 7 minutes. Of course, you will need time to check, first of all, the material, and then use the rubric to assess. Off you go.
Silvia,
Yes.
can you repeat what resource I'm
Okay.
using?
Let
I'm
me,
Violeta, yes.
yes, let me check. Violeta, you are in group number
5.
Number 5. So
Yep.
the resource is resource number 5, which
Okay.
is let me check the name again. It's number 5. Okay, everything has moved. Sorry. I don't know why. Number 5 is mixed ability
Oh, they do have
teaching.
numbers. I didn't see the numbers. Okay.
Mixed ability teaching. All right.
Okay.
See you.
Yes.
Bye-bye. Okay. Violeta, you have to go to your room. Gerardo and Burley, please join the groups. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to stop the record. Okay. In a little while, we'll have everybody back. Was it very difficult, Maricruz, to assess the resource?
Well, probably in our case it was not that difficult because it is a reading. I mean, it is a post or a blog from the British Council. So the British Council is like it is a very it is a post that we consider, we all teachers of English, we refer to that because it is useful. As you said, it is a reliable source. However, we were saying that teachers, when they are tired, they don't want to read anything else. No, they have already read 50 compositions. So reading is probably harder. But if we try to do some critical thinking related to that reading, they might be interested. No, we can probably get their attention. No,
Okay.
like, do you agree with this idea posted in this blog? No, something like that. No, and in that way, maybe they are interested and say, "Oh, I'm going to check that." No,
That's very interesting. That's very interesting. Well, I think everybody's back. Maybe we can start with Maricruz and Violeta. Um, you were assessing the article, the British Council article.
Right.
As far as you said, you told me that as far as reliability, you said it's perfect because it's a credible source and it provides accurate information. Now, you were talking about conciseness, and here we come back to Carla's new criterion. And what did you say about conciseness?
Violeta, do you want to share that? That it is maybe too much time? I mean, or not too much time. I mean, it is, I was saying that in terms of, it is brief. I mean, it is not a long reading. But probably it is like the context or the suggestions given, the pieces of advice given are probably out of our context, are not, they don't apply to all our contextual situations. So one way to promote or to grab their attention, the teacher's attention, it is like to compare that information with our own context. We were saying that.
Yes. And
Mhm.
and about conciseness is just that we are tired teachers. Like Maricruz was saying before, we graded 50 essays. We had to deal with behavior in classrooms. So we don't want to read a full article at the end of the day. We want to read like the key points or maybe the critical thinking question with some just the keynotes of the article. So we were thinking we could adapt the information of the article so it was shorter and more accessible to the community.
Okay, so the resource might be like a synthesis of the article, or maybe some a little part of the article that
Right.
you can take a screenshot, but always acknowledging that this was
Yes.
taken from this article. So you can share the link, but you're not expecting the teachers to read the whole article.
Exactly. It's like Mary Cruz was saying, we know the source is very credible. So
Mhm,
teachers would like to know more about it.
mhm,
But we can always leave the link so
mhm,
the teacher who's not that tired can
mhm.
click on it and go and read the whole article. The whole
So
article.
the resource, if adapted, as you mentioned, is relevant to the teacher's needs, interests, would be reliable because, as you mentioned, it comes from a credible source. It will be accessible because you will make it accessible. You will make it easy to read, concise, and useful because it offers practical ideas, things that they can take into the classrooms. Thank you so
Yes.
much. That was very interesting indeed.
Thank you.
Berly and Nati, you were watching. Um,
About
I
formative
love
assessment.
I love Dylan William. I would suggest everybody should watch Dylan, read Dylan, but I'm a fan. So, what do you think about this clip? You may disagree with this altogether.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Nati, please.
Well, I think what he mentioned is something that really happens in the learning process. We have, for example, he focused on the role of the cognitive process in reading and learning. Is he described how people receive the information from the environment through their sense. Their information is is then interpreted by the perception, which gives the meaning that we see, hear, and the experience that we have. And also, he explains that the reading is not a simple rec- recognizing words, but also is the active, the cognitive process that involves the attention of the students' memory, comprehension, and critical thinking. Also, they connect new information, no? They connect the new information with previous knowledge, which helps to understand ideas and deeply retain what they learned. Well, this is a summary of what he says about the topic. Yes, now Beverly, please.
Yeah. Additionally, I want to say something else about this one. In conclusion, we are totally agree that this resource is suitable, very suitable for Cariap because it is relevant. It has a lot of relevance of this one. Formative or the resource at least uh, focus on teacher in adjusting instruction to meet diverse learner needs. So and it's also accessibility because it's for free on the YouTube, right? That's the platform, and it is usefulness even because it is a very strong offers and clear practical framework. That's good for us because we can just taking many comments from this kind of resource.
But isn't it a bit too long for our Facebook community as it is?
It is 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Well,
Yeah.
will teachers watch the 2 minutes? So probably considering what Carla suggested, adding this criterion of conciseness to make it even more accessible to teachers, maybe we can choose the clip, right? We can just focus the teachers on one key aspect, not say, as Maricruz and Violeta said, then you can always offer the whole video clip. But maybe we can clip this even shorter and have a very focused question on a certain area and not the whole of it, right? So these are the things that we need to do to curate content. We need to assess the material and choose, okay, it is credible, it is accessible, it is useful, but is it concise enough so that teachers watch it and then take part in the discussion, right? Good points. Very clear assessment. What about Roxana and Shirley? What did you discuss? Which one was it? I think it was the game. Was it a game? Roxana and Shirley?
Yes, it was a game with a ball. It's just 2 minutes. We consider it's relevant, but we can adapt the game because it doesn't provide the instructions are easy to understand. However, it seems they are used to the game, no? And it's very repetitive. They just change the category each time they reach the 5 words. So for that reason, we consider it's relevant, but we just give 2 points because it's a need that the teachers show in the Cariap community, and it's the need that the students are engaged. It's reliable. It seems it's a practical experience, but it's evident that we can use the game with children, or even we can adapt that. However, it's not fully clear, no, regarding the objective. If we want to share this source in the Cariap group, we need to adapt like the instructions or well. And the accessibility is free and it's easy to understand. So for that reason, we said it's free. And it's useful at the end, and it uses practical ideas that teachers can apply, adapt, or use to reflect. For example, when I watched the video, I realized that one student wanted to participate, but he didn't have the opportunity to participate. He was just showing his hands, and the teacher just shows the same people, you know? So I reflect in that short period of time that, okay, maybe we do something similar. We always choose the same students, no, that are near to us. And
This is
so
interesting because you have noticed that you can use the same video for different purposes. Maybe
yes,
one purpose could be just as an example of how to practice vocabulary items, but also to reflect upon the way we manage the class when we engage the students in a game. So notice that the same resource can be used for different purposes. Good point.
yes.
That is very good. Very good. And as to
And
the,
so
yes, how long is it? Did you said,
2 minutes.
yeah,
But I think it can be shorter because it's
yes.
repetitive.
Yes,
So,
yes. I think that teachers can watch the first 30 seconds
uh-huh.
and they will understand exactly because then it's just the same thing again and again and again with different vocabulary sets. Yes, yes.
Yes.
So definitely. In fact, it's one of my favorite games. I generally use this game no matter what age group, kinder, primary, secondary, adults love it, right? The ball game. And it gives me the possibility of revising lots of different things, not just vocabulary. So thank you very much. Carla and Priscilla, which was your resource?
Ours was the speaking activity.
Good, good. Would you consider this resource suitable for Cariap Facebook?
Well, Priscilla, do you share?
Yes.
I took some notes. Well, we think that it is relevant because it is related to the community goal and interest. We can use it with English learner, and we can adapt the activity according to the level. Another criteria, it is credible and it is accessible because we can get it from YouTube. It is for free. And another idea, it is easy to understand and the information is correct. We didn't have enough time to talk, so sorry.
What about conciseness, which was the criterion that we have added to our list?
I think that it can be, I think that it can definitely be shortened. I mean, it's like it's not that long. Like it is like less than 4 minute long. It is less than 4 minutes. But I don't remember who asked like, is it too long? Because it only lasted 2 minutes. But I think that it is important to consider the teacher's attention span, you know? And I don't know if for this we can probably use the statistics, like the staff can get the statistics or the data analysis that sometimes Facebook provide. I have seen that even for I don't know, like social media like Instagram,
Yes.
you can see how engaged your followers were with a certain post. That would definitely help. But that would be a great deal. I don't know if you're just making us suffer a little bit trying to figure it out by yourselves, but I think that we can get that information from the data analysis that these platforms already do. Like let's see what the peak moment of a certain video is, or how long teachers stare at a certain post. That might be very, very useful. From that we can take a lot of decisions or make a lot of decisions. And I was also thinking about reliability. Because as I was reading the descriptors of the different levels of development, for example, for the number 2, which is the one that I would assign this resource, it says the source appears trustworthy. And I was wondering what makes a resource like that trustworthy? Like the
Mhm.
fact that a teacher is on screen, you know that sometimes people, not I'm not saying teachers, like people or platform users can be deceiving, you know? So probably and what would be like the solution to this problem? Should we add a lengthy bibliography at the end of our video? Probably not, but definitely probably in the description of the video, you know, like for further information and add the series of links so that people know that we are not taking it out of nowhere. For this video is not that I would immediately post into our Facebook platform, but I would definitely have someone adapt it.
Mhm.
You know, like I did this, and well, I got this idea from, and you add the link of the original video so that they can be redirected to that other source. So
Ex-
those things I was wondering,
Yeah.
especially related to reliability
Mm.
and consider the teacher's attention span.
Exactly, exactly. As to the author, Joe Gaconda, I never remember the name. Um, well, she's a highly respected trainer, and of course, you didn't have time to do this research, and I did it for you, of course. But this is something very important to consider, right? When you have more time and you have more time to choose the resource, you will definitely check all these issues because we are responsible for this when choosing.
And again, we can just as I suggested for the key phrases for every single stage of our post,
Mhm.
you know, like when you're inviting, when you're encouraging discussion, at the end we can add a few lines just like for further information, check the links below.
Yeah,
That's what most YouTubers do
yeah,
on their videos. Yes.
yeah. And of course, they need to pass the test, our test, right? As far as credibility and reliability. Well done, people. So now it's time to reflect. I am going to go to the Google Classroom and open the diary entry that reads, before curating a resource in Cariap, I will make sure that. Let me open the, so if you want to go to the Google Classroom, I will show you the new entry. Okay, so the new entry reads, before sharing, there it is. Resource in Cariap, I will make sure that. So take a couple of minutes to complete your diary entry number 11, and then take a short break, and we are coming back together at 50. Say 10 to. In my case, it will be 10 to 10. In your case, will be 10 to whatever. Okay? So time for the Google Classroom, and then time for a cup of coffee. And we are coming back at 10 to. See you. Well, I'm back. It took me a bit longer, 1 minute longer to prepare my coffee, but we're here. Well, thank you. Thank you, Maricruz, for coming back. Let's see who else is around with a cup of coffee, tea, or whatever. You know that here in Argentina, people drink mate. I don't. I don't. What about Chile? No. Well, in
Here in
Uruguay,
Chile, there are many people who love mate, but I don't like.
no,
Sorry.
I don't take mate, and everybody looks at me like, say, how come?
I prefer coffee and
Yeah,
drinking tea.
coffee, tea, definitely. Okay,
In
okay.
Colombia, we drink
Oh,
something that is called agua panela. I don't know if you know that.
agua canela.
Agua
Mm.
panela. It's
But
made of
this is
sugar
cold or
cane.
hot?
No, it's nice. Well, it's cold and hot. It depends.
Okay.
For
Okay.
example, if you wanna cold drink, you add lemon and ice, and you have a lemonade.
Oh,
And if you want it hot, it's just like a coffee, let's say, but it's sweet.
sweet. I like that.
Mhm.
I like that. Well, we might have need a place in the Facebook to share these things. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
well, in
I
fact,
agree. I agree.
one of you, I can't remember
But
which group prepared something in relation to the 4 countries. It will be posted soon, very soon. It's in another section because we have the Let's Learn Together. You will find this in the handout. That is what Rosa did, what Shirley will do next Monday. That would be the category of the post that Shirley, well, Juan Carlos, Burley, Rosa, and Leonor's material will be used for Let's Learn Together. But the other posts, the ones that we prepared last week, are for the Let's Connect section. And when we connect, there's the Friday check-in, for example, or the Friday challenge, are meant to talk about
or
teaching,
customs.
but
Yes.
also talk about things that unite us, that bring us together and connect us with the teachers. So there are 3 categories, in fact, and you will find this in one of the appendixes. Let's Learn Together, Let's Connect, and there is another one. It is called Let's Share. We haven't prepared posts for the Let's Share section, but we will soon do this as well. But today we are going to continue with the resources, and we're going to use the pedagogical leaders' resources to practice how to build useful and effective posts. So let's go back to our material. Poor Carla, she was busy working with the diary entry, and she didn't have her coffee, so go get your coffee. We have been able to comply with the 2 learning outcomes. This is a second one. We have selected a resource that corresponds to the interests, needs, and teaching context of the Cariap community. And in order to evaluate, we used the 5 criteria. We have had a break, coffee, tea, whatever, and we're going to move on to the 2 other learning outcomes. Learning outcome 3 has to do with presenting a resource clearly, explaining its value and possible use for teachers. As you said, we need to accompany the resource with something, a synthesis, a short summary, and a question that triggers off the discussion. And we will probably do the number 4 together with number 3. Let me show you this part, because on Facebook, we can simply share information, right? We can say useful ideas for large classes, and we share the link. We know that our teachers, pressed for time, very looking for practical things will not pay much attention to a link as this one. So we need to curate the information we provide them with. Like this one, teaching large classes. This article offers practical ideas for organizing group work. So the teacher said, group work, that's what I want to do. Or another teacher may be interested in managing behavior, or other teachers might be interested in limited resources. So the teachers see this synthesis and say, okay, this will be for me. And they will devote the necessary time to reading this and answering the question. The question, of course, will promote interaction, will encourage participation. Which idea could you use or adapt in your classroom? Can you see the difference between sharing information and curating information? Would anybody want to bring up the main differences? Any volunteer?
Yes, I can tell probably a difference. And it happened to me because I answered Gerardo's question about a problem related with how to how to catch his students' attention, right? And I said, "Oh, I remember Mario Rimbolukri is blah 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 blah," but probably he said, I don't see the point, no? So because we have different perception of things, so we have to when we curate a material, no, we address the real point. It is not just like suggesting. No, I can come up with multiple ideas, but the right idea, the precise idea, is the one that I probably should provide. No, it is like, well, Mario Rimbolukli has many ideas, but maybe if you go to page 6 and you check this special activity, you could do something with that. No? I mean, to be more precise, to be more
So
precise.
we
This
need
is
to
what I
be
think.
more precise, more specific, when more focused, because as you said, the teachers will not read the whole article. The teachers might not coincide with everything that Mario explains, but as you are from the Cariap community and you know the Cariap teachers, you can focus. You can make sure that what you're pointing out is related to those teachers' experiences, those teachers' classrooms. So we need, as you said, the resources relevant to our Cariap teachers' needs, our interests, our teachers' interests. We should also help them with a question that narrows down the scope. What are we going to look at? Well, just an idea I can adapt, not just anything. And also a question that connects them with the experience, their classroom experience, something they can do with it. I included in the, let me see if I can bring that up, in the handout. Oh, where is the handout? I lost it already. Hold on, because I have so many different things. I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to check where the handout is. Okay. Uh-huh. All right. The handout is getting longer and longer. Well done. Let me see. Okay. Let me share it again. Let's see. Okay. Well, you have access to the handout, but I would like to share it. Here it is. So if we take a look at teaching large classes, this is another British Council article. This is what I wrote as to relevance, reliability, accessibility, and usefulness. And what is missing is the score. Considering the justification, what would the score be? 3, 2, 1. Remember the rubric? We are evaluating the resource.
Yes. Okay. So we have time to check the resource, right?
Yeah, sure.
It's the one that you assigned previously. Sorry.
Exactly. So that is the first step we need to do. Assess the resource. And if you read my justification, you will tell how I rated it.
Well, I don't know if I can start by saying that in terms of relevance, I think it actually addresses a common problem in every teacher's classroom, no? So, uh, dealing with mixed, no, or heterogeneous classes
Mm.
or students is a it is an everyday teacher's problem, no? So
Exactly.
yes, I would give a 3.
Exactly.
Which is strong.
And if you remember the first posts where we got so many answers, most of these topics cropped up: large classes, mixed ability, the fact that students didn't pay a lot of attention. So this might be a very interesting resource in the future. Yes, somebody wrote a two for reliability. Exactly. There's no publication date on the one hand, and well, what about current inclusive practices? Are these taken into account, right? Things have changed throughout the years, and we might need to reconsider some of the practices suggested. I agree that it is a 3 for accessibility. And, well, the only probable problem is that you can only get it in English. Some articles can be translated as well. Google gives you that possibility. If you remember my webinar, some of the comments, everybody said it was very clear and all that, but they would have liked the subtitles in Spanish throughout. So that is what we mean by accessibility. And I agree with you that 3 would be the rate for usefulness. And if we considered conciseness, which is the criterion we are going to add, what would you say with reference to conciseness? Any volunteer?
Well, I think that there should be a task. No, I mean, what for? The purpose. Okay, I read it. I find it interesting, but what else? Oh, what else? What's the point of reading this?
Exactly.
So maybe
Exactly. Exactly. And this is what we need to do when we curate the resources. The first post shares a resource, that's all. The second, we curates it by doing what? What does this post do in order to curate the information? Because we said that the resources is suitable. So we could share it. Is that enough? Will people actually watch the video, read the article?
There is a question, no? I mean, there is a reason for reading, no? Which idea you can use or you can adapt in your classroom. So I'm reading but considering that in mind, or bearing that in mind, that I need to check if that adapts or not to my classroom. And then, and it's probably, it is missing, share your idea. No?
You're
Or
right.
share your result or something. But well,
we are not inviting the participation. You're absolutely right. So it's not just talking about large classes. It's within the big topic of large classes. We are thinking of practical ideas for group work, for managing behavior, and for using limited resource. So we are focusing their attention on these topics. And of course, we are not asking a very broad general question. We are asking for one idea. Which one idea could you use, right? So that invites some thinking. Of course, we need to add something else so that there is more interaction. We are not going to curate information here with these materials, because I want you to use the real materials, the materials that we're going to share as from next week. But always remember that a curated post does more than share a link. It explains its value. So the value is offers practical ideas for organizing group work, managing behavior, using limited resources, and starts a professional conversation, which can be started with a question. Great. So bearing all the criteria we use for assessment and the criteria for curating the resource, we're going to skip all this and plunge directly into activity 4. Why? Because we're going to help Shirley, we're going to help Juan Carlos, we're going to help Burley and Leonor to prepare in the preparation of the post. Shirley has helped us to some extent because she already prepared some posts in fact, she brought along 2 options. So I'm going to ask you to take a couple of minutes to look through the 2 options that Shirley, I think you haven't watched it because we used it in the webinar, and I don't know how many of you came. So let me do the following. I'll give you 2 minutes, watch the video, and those who have seen it already, you can already start reading the 2 options Shirley suggests. And then afterwards, we're going to work on the criteria for assessing not the resource, because the resource has been assessed already, but the post. So I keep quiet so that you can watch the video or read the post. Okay. So you have watched Shirley's video. You have taken a look at the two options for the post, and you have considered, first of all, we said that we need to make sure that the resource is relevant. We know that for sure. But we want to make sure that it is open-ended, that it adds value to the teachers, right? There is value in learning about an English club, learning about a strategy that promotes oral communication. That would be the main value. So the value is there. And we also said that it is connecting the idea with their own classrooms. Yes, because there is a connection between, okay, this is the material I offer. Now, what about you? What can you, how can you use it? What about the criteria that we used last session? There were 5 we used to assess posts: purpose and relevance, clarity, accessibility, inclusion, participation, and interaction. Which criteria would you like to pick? We cannot pick all of them, but each of you can pick whichever you want to give Shirley feedback.
I
Yes.
would like to start
Okay.
with the clarity and accessibility. It is just an idea, Yearly. I would like, before saying in this video, I will talk about blah, 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 I will put first, what activity gets the quietest students to speak, and how do you reduce anxiety about speaking? I mean, I will open the task, or I will ask, I will start by asking these questions first. So you invite me to watch your video. So probably because in that way I get like interested with your questions. You are inviting me to watch your video because I want to answer those questions based on your experience. And then after watching the video, I would say, well, after watching my video, what are your ideas? Share your ideas and see what other ideas you want to try or adapt. Okay, so now after that, the task is given, but I will change the order by placing the questions before, then the inviting to watch the video, and finally telling teachers to, based on the video, to share what their reflection is or whatever. Well, this is for me more accessible. No, this is what I
So we are talking about clarity and
accessibility,
accessibility, and
clarity and
mainly,
accessibility.
mainly, how do I catch their attention?
Mhm.
Because
Right.
we need, I mean, teachers are just browsing, just, sniping. I mean, they are not looking at our posts as we do when we go into Facebook. So how do we call their attention? How do we, and that is, I mean, that would be what is valuable for the teacher, right?
Mhm.
This idea of value, because they will read, they will watch what is of value to them, what will really give them something that they don't have yet. Okay, so there we have an idea, like a title or something that will call their attention. Well, let's continue thinking about this. Any other idea related to the other criteria, for example? What about the purpose? What about the relevance? what about inclusion? Do you think all the teachers will feel included in the activities that you propose?
Silvia?
Yeah.
I would like to say something related to this ability, speaking ability.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it has been changed a lot after COVID,
Mm-hmm.
because now students feel so ashamed when they have to speak. They all the time say, Miss, can you say this? Because they like writing, but they don't like speaking.
Mm-hmm.
So they feel really scared when they have to speak in front of the big group of students.
Yes.
So in my school, we changed the strategy. So we created, I don't know how can I explain, but a kind of, I don't know, even in Spanish, but we try to create a kind of gallery, I don't know, so the
Mm-hmm.
students located in different positions in the classroom or whatever, and the teacher go to the students and listen to them so they feel more self-confident and they are able to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that this is an activity that can be that can add in the inclusion criteria,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
we have because the students have the opportunity to participate, but they feel more confident. I don't know if it
Mm-hmm.
is a good idea
Okay,
for
so probably
to.
what you when you are I mean, we have to think of the question that will call for your answer, that will call you, Priscilla, to pay attention to this and give your own example. So that you feel invited to share your experience.
Mhm.
That would be the challenge for our question, right? And probably I think that when you're talking about get your students to speak, rather like get them to speak, probably have them find their voices, right? Maybe the phrase we can give the phrase a twist, right? Instead of get them to speak, help them find their voices might be more inclusive, right? Because get somebody to do something might imply some kind of, obligation, force, but help them find their voices might invite more people to 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 participate. I mean, we have to even choose the right words and be very careful when we're choosing those words. For example, in the reply to at least two, because I think the option two is stronger than option one, because mainly because it is more specific. Yes, it asks the teachers to contribute specific strategies, and that is very, very useful. We talked about this already, so that teachers know exactly what is expected of them. But the phrase reply to at least two might remind the teachers of the assignments that they had to do in college. So maybe we have to, we have to become very careful communicators, change the wording. And I like the idea of the bank of ideas. It reminded me of the top 10 list that Rosa suggested. And that's great, because if we all together prepare an inclusive bank of ideas, oh, that would be so powerful, right? So I feel that we are on the right track. What we need to do is make sure that the choice of words, our choice of words, includes rather than leave people out. And also, as we said earlier, that we invite people to read other colleagues, right? Like reply to one you would like to try, right? So again, you're inviting them. You're inviting them to do it. You're not imposing. Okay, great. Lovely. Isn't it amazing? I mean, how to do this? It seems so easy and it is so very difficult. So now that we have helped Shirley, and don't worry, Shirley, when then we can work it out together later. You're staying a few minutes later. I would like we have very little time, but I would like you to help Juan Carlos, Burley, and Leonor with their next posts. So I will ask you to get into 3 groups. I'm going to create the groups again. And I will give you, 5 minutes, well, maybe 7, to watch the videos if you haven't, and prepare the post. I'm opening the rooms. Gerardo, Maricruz, and Violeta will be assessing and designing Juan Carlos's post, the post on Juan Carlos's resource. Carla, Roxana, and Shirley, you will be in charge of Burley's. And Burley, Luisa, and Priscilla, the third one, okay? So that each group is in charge of a different post. So again, Gerardo, Maricruz, Violeta will be using Juan Carlos's video. Carla, Roxanne, and Shirley will be using Burley's. And the last one, that is Leonor's, Burley, Luisa, and Priscilla will be in charge. See you in a little while. Burley, you're still here.
Okay. So, well, look at the chat. There is in the chat is the link, Gerardo.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for your wonderful work. I've been reading and making comments, and definitely you have managed to include the value, the reason, the purpose for watching the video, reading the resource, approaching this resource. And you have managed to catch the readers, well, the teacher's attention somehow or other. Of course, we might need more time to now look at the words we have chosen, that the type of phrases we have used. I particularly liked the fact that here they wrote, whether you teach in a remote public school or an urban private context, every experience is valuable to our community. You're including everyone, making sure that everybody feels part of the discussion. So these are the things. Of course, it is still too long. We might want to go back to the conciseness criterion. However, I think this is a great start, and I will invite, of course, Shirley, we have given you some hints as to what a very suitable post will be like. I would like to invite Juan Carlos, Burley, and well, I will make sure I reread the one on Leonor's. I would like to invite you all to go over the posts and make any necessary comments, right? Today, I will change the status of this document from editor to comment, so that you can only add ideas with the comments option. But I feel that we are already on the right track. We have understood the importance of curating information, and that curating implies making sure that the members understand the value of engaging with this material and feel invited to participate, to interact, to read others' colleagues' interactions and posts and answers and replies and act accordingly. So, as usual, there's always plenty of work to do, but I feel that we are already on track and we have now the necessary tools to answer the diary entry 12. It's again, STEM sentences to complete. You don't need to do it now. It's too late already. And later, I will also include the exit ticket. We are ready to curate a resources worth sharing in Cariap when, and we have talked about the different criteria. And in my next resource post, I will, whatever you have learned through this amazing experience of working collaboratively, evaluating resources and curating them. So, without further ado, thank you very much once again for your participation, for your interest in all this. And well, we'll keep in touch. We have plenty of work to do. I'm going to stay with Shirley for a couple of minutes to get ready. She will become a moderator next Monday, and she will open her post in the Let's Learn Together section. Thank you so much, and keep in touch via Google Classroom, WhatsApp, or mail. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you. Good luck, Shirley.
Good night, everyone.
Night.
Bye-bye.
Night.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much.